Well, Rajdeep Sardesai spoke to senior advocate Mahesh Jethmalani on the black money issue and the recent developments on News Tonight at 9. Here's an excerpt of that conversation.
Mr. Jethmalani, though, is saying under the rules they cannot disclose these names till the prosecution begins. Do you go by the government's logic?
No, frankly speaking, after the Supreme Court judgment and even after the attempt at review by the UPA government, there is no scope for the government to have any role in this matter. The recovery of black money in accounts stashed in offshore havens is now the responsibility of the Supreme Court appointed SIT, monitored by the Supreme Court on a continuous basis. So I don't understand why this application was made for a modification of that order and so on and so forth. The whole thing to me is incomprehensible, and I don't know why this government is saying that they can't disclose names, because I understand that the entire list of names is with the SIT, the only body empowered by the Supreme Court to investigate this money, to investigate black money. So
effectively, what you are telling me, Mr. Jethmalani, today is that the names that are before the special investigation team, all of them, all these names can be made public. There is nothing legally, in your view, no taxation agreement that we have, bilateral taxation agreement, whether it's with Germany or whether it's with France or whether it's with Switzerland, that prevents these names from being made public.
The DTA does not apply at all. The DTAA, the Double Taxation Avoidance Treaty, is a treaty under which two countries reciprocate tax arrangements and avoid double taxation for a given citizen who may be of doubtful residence in one of the two jurisdictions. This is not the case. In this case, Rajdeep, there are two countries, France and Germany, who have obtained these account holders' names from France from the HSBC Bank in Geneva, and Germany from Liechtenstein. Yes. Both these countries announced when they first got this list that they had not only their own citizens' names on that list, but they had the names of citizens of other countries as account holders, and they are willing to give it without any conditions so long as the country of those citizens ask them for it. This whole DTAA is a red herring which the UPA government was severely criticized for, and I don't know why the NDA government is following its footsteps. I really do not know what is happening. It baffles me why a finance minister of the capability of Arun Jaitley should do this.
Well, if it baffles you, I don't know what we should be doing, but you're very clearly saying, therefore, that once these names are provided to the Indian government, which in turn provides it to the special investigation team which has been appointed by the Supreme Court to look at the black money issue, the name should be immediately declared. You don't see any rules of privacy operating here?
Absolutely. There is no legal impediment and there is no international treaty obligation at the moment which prohibits this government, or indeed the previous one, from publishing the entire list of account holders sent by the Germans in the Liechtenstein Bank and the French in the HSB Bank. All these names can be in the public domain. The only competing interest which one would take cognizance of if one were a prudent government is the right of privacy. And frankly speaking, the right of privacy is completely overwhelmed in this case by public interest. And right now, you have a UN treaty on corruption, a UN convention on corruption, which says, particularly in poor countries, that the need to recover stolen money, siphoned money, which belongs to the poor people of this country and the entire populace at large, is certainly an overwhelming circumstance as opposed to some international obligation of tax treaties.
In a sense, then, what you're saying is, even though you're a member of the BJP, that you seem to see some kind of a collusion where politicians are colluding not to take either each other's names or really the big names who you believe could well have the accounts. Because really, some of the names that have been revealed today are not necessarily new. One of them certainly was revealed as early as January.
Well, I can't blame anybody. I'm going to be very circumspect here because I have not totally left politics and I'm still very attached to Mr. Modi and the BJP. But I have to say that this government, by sheer incompetence or design, I can't say, is unnecessarily creating the impression that it is colluding along with the previous corrupt government. It's colluding with the previous corrupt government.